She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it. She make it clap, clap, clap. 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 She make it clap, clap.
Welcome to the very first episode of Tiger TV. It's your weekly internet show where we talk all things Melbourne Tigers. We're talking NBL1. We're talking Big V. We're talking new players. We're talking old players. I'm your host, Gavin Ingham, with my fellow co-host, Jeremy Dooley, and we're going to be with you every week for the 2024 Melbourne Tigers season. We're filming here at the Tiger Den on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Jez, I've been the Tigers court announcer for 10 years, about a decade, going on long service leave very, very soon. What's your connection to the Tigers?
I've been a fan since day dot, Gavin. I actually remember Brett Rainbow, if you're watching this, I'm calling you out here because when the Tigers won against the Southeast Melbourne Magic in the 97 season, I managed to get the commemorative t-shirt, got everyone to sign it. The missing piece of the puzzle was Air Rainbow himself. And I had to track him down. Do you know where I found him?
In somewhere in the air?
No. Shockingly for him, no. Glenroy News Agency. So hello to the good people at Glenroy News Agency and to management there for getting Brett Rainbow in to do a signing. And I went there and sign this, Mr. Rainbow. I didn't have as deep a voice, but it's a true story. That's how long I've been a Tigers fan for. I own 3 Andrew Gaze jerseys.
Yep.
And I'm excited to be here. And look, I'm really excited for this episode. It is the first of Tiger TV, and it is absolutely stacked.
Yep.
So let's get stuck into it.
Clap, clap. She make it clap, clap.
All right, Jez, we're going to kick off with looking back to 2023. We're going to look back last year. We're going to talk Big V, women and men. The youth champ women came within a couple of baskets of making it into the grand final. Overall, fantastic season for our Big V women.
And the youth champ men actually won the whole comp, Gavin. They defeated Kilsyth in the grand final with a very nice score of 69-51 way back in August. Here's how that went down.
That's another trophy into his cabinet.
Get out of here.
I believe a rumour that you were the announcer for that game, Mr. Ingham.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Jez. Your intel is correct. One of the greatest games I've been a part of as an announcer. You know, I've announced the Australian Boomers, 10,000 people at John Cain Arena, but this seriously compared really well to atmospheres like that. The Tigers faithful came out to support the Big V boys and got us over the line, defeating Kilsyth 69-51. Superb performances. We had Thurs Chahol was pretty good, 12 points in that game. Kobe Shuri off the bench, 11 points, but he's hitting 3 3-pointers. Captain Mason Gaze did well, tough shots, played well all game, 11 points, but it was Wilson Amos, 8 rebounds, but he also had 12 points, picked up the MVP honours.
Fantastic. Well, that's huge that it was such a great honour for you to be there ringside with the voice of the Big V Grand Final. I recently caught up with the coach himself, Mr. Andrew Gaze, to have a look forward for this season in 2024.
The 2003 Grand Final was a huge moment for the group that we had because the vast majority of players had been there 4 or 5 years. And to see a group come through and have some learning experiences, some hardships along the way to finally achieve their goal of winning a championship, it was great to be able to share in that moment and reflect on the progress that the players had made. For us, our youth league program is very much a developmental one, and we're trying to invest in our players to give them the opportunity to play at the next level. And I think when you get a team that is focused on that, focused on the individual development, but combined with the team concepts. It's great to see that they get a reward and see what happens when it all comes together, and hopefully we develop them to a point where, whether it's the NBL, the NBL1, college basketball, whatever it may be, we hope that we can contribute on their pathway that they go through to try and reach that very significant goal that a lot of these players have. We're really lucky in 2024 because we've got the nucleus of the team is coming back. Some of the guys that are still eligible may not play as much because we want to make sure that we develop the next crop of players that are coming through. But clearly when you've won a championship, there are others out there trying to dethrone you. And every single game that you play, you're kind of used as a yardstick to where a team might be at. So we still feel really confident that we've got a good nucleus, a good foundation, a good bunch of players that understand now what it takes to win a championship. And if we can continue to work hard and continue to grow, then we feel like we're once again going to be a contender. Well, hopefully little Maeve, I'm a granddad now, comes along to as many as she can. A lot depends on mum and how mum is going and how much rest she's had. But we started them young. I'm trying to. She's 2.5 weeks old at this stage. I'm not quite sure we've quite mastered where she needs to put the elbow when she's shooting the 3 ball. But we're working on it, and hopefully in a couple of weeks she'll have that nailed.
Thanks very much, Drew. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Both squads, the boys and the girls, have started really well in this 2024 Big V season, both top of their division and flying high. We did catch up with the women's coach as well. He's a new coach, he's new to the Tigers. We welcome him to the Tigers, Ed Summers. Fantastic pedigree, great resume, and we're so fortunate to have him here at the Tiger Den. Welcome to the mighty Melbourne Tigers. You've come down from Sydney. How does it feel to be part of the Melbourne Tigers?
Look, it's great. I mean, for me, this has always been a club with a rich history, and a club that I've come down and play against, coach against over the years. So it's a club that I'm really excited to be involved in, and again, rich history, and be a part of that's a special thing. You've come down from Sydney. You were involved in the Sydney Kings Junior Academy. Yep. What is it about the junior hoops that drives you? I was. So Sydney Kings and Sydney Flames. It's important to say that. I'm sorry. The Hoops capital has both. We'll just add that in post. In post, yeah. No, look. I've always been involved in junior basketball, whether that's under 8s all the way up to under 23s, which I'm coaching this year. And I guess while those athletes are older, the ones I'm coaching at the moment, it's just about where you start at the beginning of the season and seeing where you can get to, and really driving and pushing yourself. And you'll have successes and failures along the way, and it's how you navigate those things and grow as a human. So, I love it. It's great. Awesome. And looking ahead to this season, the group that you've inherited, yep. I think we're 3 points shy of a grand final. Yep. Final berth. Great squad. Yep. A lot of the same names from last year signed up again for this year. And so, what's your focus for this season here in 2024 for the Big V Youth Champ Women? Yeah, great question. Look, there's definitely some unfinished business there for the girls. That's definitely true. And they're remembering that last game that knocked them out, and they're using that as their motivation for this season. Look, I think that coaching youth league's a challenge. It's a moving beast. We're working very closely with the NBL1 team, and seeing how that sort of plays out, and how many of our girls will play NBL1, youth league, or both. So, look, it's been a challenge managing all of that stuff. But as you say, we've got a strong squad. For now, at this stage of the season, we want to walk before we can run, and it's about getting better every game. That's every practice and every game. We just want to get better right now. Well, it's great to have you on board, Coach, and welcome to the Tigers once again. It's great to have you a part of the family in the Tiger Den. You'll be seeing him, women's head coach for the Youth Champ Women.
All right, we're having a big chat with some of the squad here, but you've announced some Big V games already this season, Mr. Ingham. What's your take?
I'm pretty impressed. Both squads are pretty similar to last year. Women were very impressive. Coach Ed, he's got a lot of ball movement, quick passing, cutting, following rebounds after shots, high-paced game, pressure on the D, interrupting passing lanes, fast break as well. And there's a passage of play, a couple of games that I saw out at Oakley in round 2 where we were on the fast break and there's about 3 Tigers players at the basket on the fast break and they kind of passed it between each other when each one of them could have taken the shot, and it was just selfless basketball. But Tyler Hooper was pretty impressive in the games that I've seen so far, part of the NBL1 squad. But this year, she's not timid, Jez. She's got a bit of a grunt in her, follows her own shot into the basket. She has the ball in her hands 90% of the game time. And but I want to see her play a bit more football style. I want to see her be a bit more aggressive. Technical, that's time out. Technical, Jez, you're out of 2 texts, you're out of here. Jez, Draymond Green, totally there. Tyler Hooper looking to go to the next level for 2024. We're going to go over to the men.
Yeah, what's your take?
Well, pretty much the same squad as last year. Mason Gay's captain, Taj Chahal, both those boys in the NBL1 squad. Wilson Amos, Kai Garno, Kobe Shuri off the bench. Round 2 versus Ballarat, Jez. Mason scored 25 points, had just lit it up. But Taj Chahal was scoring in bunches as well. But Wilson Amos, MVP from last year's grand final, I don't know if he's gone to a new level or what's going on. But I reckon he had about 72 points in the third quarter there at one stage. He was
on fire.
Like he started the fire. It was just absolutely dominant and looked so easy for him at this level. And he's a DP in the NBL1 squad. He was doing stuff on defense and then he'd run down on the offense. He'd cause a turnover, run down on the offense, and then he'd get the ball and he would score a little bit out, mid-range, at the basket, drawing fouls, getting the end one. And I don't know if he broke a sweat. So Wilson Amos.
We didn't start the fire, but Wilson Amos did.
Brilliant. The writers on this show are amazing. And also Jack Whitburn. He's 7 foot tall, legit. He's not a Collingwood 6-footer.
We tried to interview him, but he was like this on the camera.
Jack, how you feeling about legit 7 foot tall development player with the NBL1? Probably going to US college a bit later this year. He's just recently had some Australian junior team experience, but some great names in that squad and pretty much the whole squad back from last year. Trivia time for you, Jeremy Dooley. The Tigers won the 1993 Grand Final Series against Perth. So can you tell me, how many times had the NBL Tigers won a game in Perth prior to that Game 3 series clincher?
Ooh, not that season, just generally?
In history, how many times had they won in Perth prior to that game?
7.
Close. Answer is 0.
That is wild. 0.
Yeah, I know. They won that Game 3 and clinched the series, clinched the grand final, got a title. And we're going to look back last year. We caught up with that team. It was a bit of a celebration, a 30-year anniversary celebration for that team. We filmed it. We were there. Here we go.
It's a great night to reminisce. We're always better now than we were 30 years ago. But just to see the boys and as I said, to reminisce about that moment in time, it's so special to most of us, it means a lot to us.
It's been really good to actually see some people I haven't seen for a long, long time. Stephen Whitehead, haven't seen him for years, Rob Sibley, Dave Simmons, some of the guys I see a bit now and then. But just good to catch up, find out what they're doing, what their lives have changed and all that. So we actually haven't talked about the game at all just yet. I know it's on in the background, but just catching up in personal, you know.
Well, I think coming from humble beginnings, you know, the Melbourne Tigers, when we used to come down there and play them at Albert Park on a Sunday, was a guaranteed win. And gradually over the years, we saw them get better. And it's hard to recruit players when you're not good. And they slowly did that. They had Dave Colbert, Simo come into the thing. And, you know, they started to win more games. I come down here after that, and we were a force.
I guess the major achievement is actually winning the championship and just remembering the task it was to win in Perth. And people don't understand. We'd never won in Perth ever. We'd never won a game in Perth, let alone a game to win the championship.
They had a lot of hometown support, a lot of emotion in the audience, and it's one of the beauties about playing in Perth. They are some of the most passionate fans in the country, and it was on full display at this game here. And what happened was it sort of galvanised us because of this so much noise and animosity that we had to deal with. We were fortunate enough to have a group that had great camaraderie, great spirit, and it helped us.
And I will tell a story. I know Adrian Hurley doesn't like it, but I remember seeing black and gold balloons in the rafters, you know, as I was stretching, warming, looking up, and I thought, these bastards are already playing for a celebration, so I had a little extra motivation there.
So that third game when we got that win, it was the best time of my life being on the basketball court. I knocked down a couple of shots, and the guys got me the ball at the right time. So it wasn't about me, it was about all of us together. You know, collectively, Bracky had 19, 20 rebounds, I think. Dave had a couple of nice blocks. So everyone contributed, everyone did their thing. I was just in that zone in the third quarter where I got hot and they found me.
It was one of those situations in life where the ultimate goal at the highest level of competition was to be the best team in Australia, and we were able to achieve that back in 1993 by beating the Perth Wildcats. So it means a lot. It'll be with us forever, and it's something we'll never forget.
Yeah, love these guys, mate. I love Lindsay, and not so much a fan of Andrew, but everyone else seems to like him. But we had a great group of guys, and you know, my biggest regret was probably leaving and going back to Brisbane, because I think we could have had a good run down here.
Like I said, you have a situation where you see each other every single day for training and games, so you go through a lot of emotional highs and lows, and then teams change. You move on, you move interstate, you move overseas, so you don't see these people. So I think it's vitally important, and just to do those things as we get a little bit older, it's really important to keep those connections.
So special, and yeah, it was emotional because as was indicated, you have this bond with a group, and you know the way sports are, you know that it's not always going to be that way. People come and go, and teams change, and to be able to share that experience with a group of guys that you're really connected with, and to be able to reach the ultimate goal, and for a club, the oldest club in the country, 1931 being formed, and of course with my dad and his contribution to finally get that reward, made it more special for me, because I knew what it meant for others, and that's what made me emotional, is because of the impact it has on others. And here we are, 30 years. I'm just hoping that in another 30 years we're all still here.
Do you know what my favourite memory from that final series was, Mr. Ingham?
Drewy, 72 points and a quarter.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't, you know, Lindsay needing a chiropractor afterwards with Drewy just like, I don't know if it was a hug or a headlock. It was when Robert Sibley got the facial imprint of Trevor Torrance into his shoulder. That screen was, mwah, chef's kiss. I think that's what inspired the Spice Girls song, When Two Become One, because it was Trevor Torrance becoming one with Robert Sibley's shoulder.
When two become one.
Clap, clap, she make it clap, clap. She make it clap, clap, clap.
Now, Gav,
Yep.
have you ever been to the baths at Middle Brighton?
Mate, I probably owe them a bit of rent. I am there that often. Greatest place in the world.
Well, last week the Melbourne Tigers had their season launch there, and we caught up with a whole bunch of the playing group, some of the coaching stuff, some of the new sponsors, you know, when to become one. We are at the Baths in Middle Brighton. We got all the players here, we got the coaching staff, we got some sponsors, some new sponsors, and I have a microphone and I am going to ambush all of the players, some of the coaches, some of the sponsors, and ask them a whole bunch of questions because this is Tiger TV. There is a rumour that you've demanded a parking space with MVP.
No.
Just there, can you confirm that?
No chance, no way.
Played under Caleb before, and you know that excites me. So yeah, I think this group plays that style really well. We've got heaps of shooters everywhere, so it's going to be fun.
So our whole plan is to run, gun, and stun. That's our.
Oh, that's a bumper sticker.
Yeah, we're running with it.
You have been voted as the most likely to be ejected. How do you respond to this?
I mean, probably true. A bit rough from Tyler, but I do get a bit fiery in the game. I don't think I'd ever get ejected though. I'm not that silly.
Very happy to be back playing with Melbourne. It's my junior club. The place means a lot to me, so it's cool. It's cool to play with all these guys that I played juniors with and saw growing up. So yeah, it's special. I'm joined here by Terry from Six, one of the newest sponsors in the Tiger family. Terry, welcome to the vault. Welcome to the den.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
What's brought you here?
The opportunity to see how short I am. Followed the competition all the way through the 80s and beyond there.
Who's the most annoying in the group chat?
Caleb.
It's going to be your stat line for this season. What are you averaging?
Like minutes late to the game. That'll get me one. Items of uniform lost throughout the year. That should reach 10. Group text messages missed because I've got notifications off.
Who is most likely to turn up late for training?
Caleb. No, not Caleb, not Caleb. Tyler.
And what's your predictions for the season?
I think we'll do well. We've got a really good bunch of boys this year, and we've definitely added some key pieces this year. So finals, geez, for me, I think we can win it. I think we can win it if we get it rolling and get it clicking at the right time of the year. We can definitely win it this year.
Prediction for the season in one word, go.
Fun.
Yeah. We're winning.
Yeah, winning.
Winning.
Who's the most likely for you to be like, okay, I need you to leave my office right now because they're taking up too much of your time. They won't leave.
Oh, Caleb, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm here for Chief Morale Officer, and
Great title.
I have an apprentice on that front. You going to introduce yourself, Cal?
I'm Arlo.
Are we going to be here for the Tigers? What do we say?
Go Tigers!
We're watching Tiger TV. Tiger TV. Tiger TV.
Thank you.
Tiger TV. Tiger TV. Boom, you're out of here.
Jez, you feeling all right?
Feeling good.
Mate, I'm surprised that you've pulled up to the studios, Tiger Den Studios today. I don't know how long you were left at the season launch, but I left at, 3 a.m. and you had Drewy up against the bar discussing the shuffle offense, and Drew was trying not to fall asleep.
And we were discussing a few things. We were discussing the shuffle offense.
Yep.
We were discussing how much the share price of bandages went up when he had to wear them. But we're also discussing sixth cars, which is the only way Tigers travel.
Watching Tiger TV.
Watching Tiger TV.
She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it clap, clap.
Now we cut to the NBL1 men's team. Let's look at 2003.
It was an almost season, Gavin. The team, they were on a roll late there and just missed out on the playoffs. Of course, led by the co-MVP, old JP himself, Jack Purchase.
JP, MVP. Yeah, you're right. It was a tale of end of the season, could have made the finals. Finished 12th, 10 wins, 12 losses. We were lower half of the league in offence, but we're about 6th best in defence. So it's a bit of a positive there. Jack purchased 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, and almost 4 assists a game, getting the MVP honours. And we've got a lot of the same squad that's coming through. Mason Gaze is again establishing himself at this level and is going up in gears and looking really comfortable at this level now. Good chemistry.
Great
with the team
chemistry.
towards the end of last year, and we've got some young players coming through. But as you touched on, Drew, we did catch up with him.
Yeah, we were happy with our NBL1 results. We know where the club's at, and this is part of a 3 or 4 year process that we put in place to get competitive. We're coming from a really low base where we were just before COVID, and then coming out of COVID of where the program was at. And to see guys developing, a lot of younger players getting the opportunity to play with us. The overwhelming majority of players in our team have come right through our junior program, and to see them to be able to take the next step up and compete at the NBL1 level, it's really heartwarming that we feel like the program has a purpose and it's got a real strong direction of what it's standing for. And hopefully we can take that philosophical view on what the program's trying to do and combine with trying to win a championship. Ultimately, we're in it to do the very best we can, and sure, we've got those developmental goals, but that doesn't preclude us for having an ambition to one day put together a team that compete for a championship. Once again, in 2024, we're going to be really young, but we won 10 games last year. We're hoping to improve on that. Clearly, we're going to be judged on the wins and losses, but internally, there are other parameters that we'll measure the success by, and a lot of that will be the work that we do with some of our younger players and how we continue to grow their development. We like to play a really well-structured offence. We pride ourselves on the defence, and to be in that top echelon of teams statistically, as far as our defence went, was one of the reasons why we were able to win 10 games. Again, we want to grow our defence, and a lot of that comes from just the maturity of the players. The bodies get a little bit bigger, the speed of the game gets a bit quicker. But also structurally with what we do, we feel like we've got some different personnel this season that will allow us to use a few different strategies. And then offensively, we believe, and it comes from my philosophy, that our individual development can come from a bit more structure in what we do. And I think we had a lot of different offensive sets that we used last season. We still run a lot of shuffle offense. But for us, depending on the individual, we try to play players in multiple positions so they get to experience all the different skill sets. When you're trying to be a development program, it's important that some of our stereotypical 5 positions, those that play the 5 position, can experience a bit of 4 or sometimes even a bit of 3. And that can sometimes, not always, but sometimes come at an expense, because development is a big part of what we do. But trying to find that balance between development, giving players different experience, and winning, that's the juggling act that our coaching staff have to try and make. Yeah, I'm rapt that we've got players that came through our junior programs. Jack started playing with the Melbourne Tigers when he was 7 or 8 years of age. Tommy Wilson, his entire junior career was a Melbourne Tiger, and their pathways have been different. Jack goes off, plays at the college ranks. Tommy gets a look in when I was at the Sydney Kings, but then decided to go and spend some time with the Collingwood Football Club. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years since he played at elite level, but to have him back, he looks fantastic. And I remember when he left, because I coached him at the Sydney Kings, and to see how much he's improved without necessarily playing a lot of formal structured basketball, it's been incredible. And I think you'll find that Tommy Wilson's on an NBL roster for the 2024-25 season, and hopefully in that process that he goes through, he can help the Melbourne Tigers win some games. Jack was the league MVP last season, and he's had some injury issues in the off-season, had a surgery on his foot, but he's looking in great shape, so we're confident that eventually as the season rolls on, he'll get better as he overcomes that foot injury. And Jack Whitmore, he's a member of the Australian junior team. We're going to miss him at the start of the season because he's going overseas with the Australian junior team, but we're proud that he's a Tiger, and we're proud that we're able to produce Tigers that can play representative basketball with the Australian team. And then, of course, he's going to be going over to continue his career at the college ranks, and that's part of what that's where we get some joy in what we do with both our Youth League and NBL1 programs. To see players be able to take that next step, it's great rewards for the coaching staff and the club.
One thing I'm really interested to see this season is the integration of some former AFL listed players coming back into the fold. I wonder if that's going to make an impact in the physicality of the team.
Oh, absolutely. So, Dools, if I said to you these names,
okay,
Gaze,
yep,
Purchase,
yep,
Bradkey,
yep,
what era are we talking here?
Oh, we're talking the 90s, the golden age.
No, we're talking now. As we've just touched on, we've got Mason Gaze, we've got Jack Purchase, JP, MVP, and we've also got Brad Keys back in the squad, back as a Melbourne Tiger.
Big Aussie.
Aussie came back over from AFL, ruckman, 6'8". He's in the squad for us this year, NBL1, and also
Tommy.
Collingwood football player. I'm a Collingwood man, so it's loving having Tommy back at the Tigers. He was a junior, Jez. He won the Seabull MVP in 2018, which was Seabull was NBL1 before NBL1, and he's back with us. In that year, he averaged 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's probably, you'd hope that he'd be a likely starter for this year. But the squad going ahead is looking really great. We've got experience. We've got old FVH is signed up.
The
again.
great hair. Just smooth hair.
What do you say about his hair?
It's probably the best hair in NBL1.
Absolutely.
I don't know how he does it.
I reckon
defies the laws of physics and gravity.
International basketball, I'd have to say. Possibly could get drafted to the NBA based on his hairstyle.
Absolutely. Yeah, LeBron needs some tips. He's fading. Just.
I wouldn't be surprised if Felix did have blonde tips back in years ago.
Guaranteed.
He's back in the squad, so we've got a bit of experience there, NBL experience there. Bit of a glue player for us is Remo. Remo, I'm so sorry, I forgot how to...
I'm just DJing in honour of Remo. I don't know how to DJ.
Remo Simonkevicius, he's a part-time basketballer, but he's a full-time DJ. I don't know how he has the energy. Stays up all night and comes to training. So he's going to be a nighttime player. Height Jack Whitburn from BigV. 17 foot tall.
Jack Whitburn.
he's part of the NBL1 team as well this year. Shooters, Mason, Jack, MVP, Taj Chahal started the season last year in blistering form, and Tommy Wilson's not so bad as well. So that'll be the men for the NBL1.
Now, last season for the women's team, it was a tough season.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Tough season. Using a lot of, big V players. And that step up is quite a big step up for players. You're looking at speed, size, physicality. So it's a lot to ask there. There were some bright moments though, Gavin.
Yeah, although 5 wins for the season, 17 losses. Pretty low on the ladder as far as offense and defense goes. Sammy Simons, 17 points a game, led the way there. 3 assists, 5 rebounds a game, Sammy Simons. It was Hannah Giddy did well on the blocks, 3rd in the whole NBL1 South 1 0.8 blocks per game. But some of the positives statistically on paper didn't look so good, but emergence of players like Tyler Hooper, who I talked about before, who's in our Big V squad and was a junior with the Tigers, and Sammy Simons standing up. But we did catch up with the coach, Caleb Sclater, for a bit of a chat about last year and then this coming season.
Obviously last year was a bit of a down year, last couple of years, so we brought in some fresh faces, fresh blood, and it's just trying to change a bit of the culture. And we had a really young team the last couple of years, and to bring some more experienced players in, I guess, to just sort of teach standards and all that. And hopefully we our goal's finals. We're not beating around the bush, like that's what we're going for, and that's the team goal. But I think overall it's just changing the culture and educating the young girls in the team. That's good. We do have some experience, but I've been really sort of picky the way we've put the team together. So, like someone like Steph Blitzars, for example, as you said, Opal, that stuff, she's smart enough to know, like, they're all good people. They know there's one ball, and they know that, I guess, not everyone can score, and everyone's going to have to sacrifice. We had a really good team meeting at the start of the year with everyone, and we spoke about, if we can get 6 players and 10 points. Like, we're not going, no player here wants to go and get 35 every night. Like, we're just trying to get, if we can get 6 players in 10 points every game, we know that that'll give us a really good chance of winning. You said speed, like, yeah, we do have some speed. Amy O'Neill's super quick. Charlotte Brancatisano super quick. Jade's joined us now for the start of the year, and she's lightning. So we're just going to try and run every possession and just wear teams down like that, and put some really good shooters around. Like Steph's one of the best shooters that Australia's had. Sammy's a great shooter. The young Tyler Hooper's a great shooter. So yeah, we're just going to run and shoot threes. That's our game plan. Sarah, once again, Opal, Olympian, all that type of stuff. Like, she's a 25 and 10 player every week. So by committee, if we can get we've got a few other pieces coming in that can chip in. Like Sarah, you can't replace her, but we can try and fill the void while she's not around for a while.
And we've got quite a few returning players, and there's a couple in particular that we'd like to highlight. Let's start with Jade Melbourne.
Oh my God, I think we just hit the jackpot, and yeah, Jade Melbourne is certainly a boon for us. She's with us for the first part of the season. Unfortunately for us, fortunately for her, she has to go back to her day job, which is WNBA, and we're going to miss her, but we're so fortunate to have her in the squad for the first part of the season. Recently named to the Opal squad as well, and a little inside information here, Jeremy. There's good intel that the Melbourne Tigers are going to rebrand, change their name in honour of the superstar Jade Melbourne. So we're going from the Melbourne Tigers, pretty soon we're going to rebrand to Melbourne Tigers.
Love that.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
That's such a beautiful gesture. I mean, one thing I do love about Jade is that she also changes her name depending on where she's playing. So, when she's in the WNBA, her name's actually going to be Jade Seattle.
Yeah, and related to Shaquille coming back to the squad is Amy O'Neill. We're certainly blessed to have these 2 players returning alongside a lot of the squad from last year, including Captain Sammy Simons, as well as Charlotte Brancatisano, both named as co-captains as well. But on to the new recruits. The
More
media.
of like Marcus Timmins sort of dance there.
Didac. Anyway, back to basketball. The media have posted us as big improvers this year, and around the league there's a lot of talk. We seem to have signed somewhere around the number of 17,000 new players this off season, and we've had some players come out, some players come in, but the players that are signed, sealed, delivered, ready to go for 2024 are outstanding. We had 2 Blitzarves. Sarah, unfortunately, is a bit bedridden at the minute, but we've got her sister-in-law, who's no slouch on the court, Jez. One, Steph. Steph Blitzarves. She's very experienced, WNBL champion, Australian team. She was Siebel MVP back in 2015.
Unofficially as well, the mayor of Geelong.
Oh, well, I think we spoke to her, and she said she was officially the mayor of Geelong.
Yep. We've got Chantal Horvath as well. Spectacular resume.
Oh my God, we only have so much time for this show, and we'll talk more about these players in upcoming episodes, but internationally is just absolutely an absolute standout. A very recent signing, Sierra Dillard, was drafted to the WNBA, spent some training time there with the LA Sparks. She's born and raised in New York, is naturalised as on the Senegalese national team last year. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in some game time for Senegal. March Madness, US College, just taken her teams to the Sweet 16 in 2018 and averaged 25 points per game in 2019. Drafted second round to the NBA, not WNBL, but maybe after her season with us, she might get a look in at WNBL. 2022-2023 African Women's Basketball League, the AWBL champ, and she was also last year was the MVP of the AWBL as well. 23 points a game, Jeremy.
I'm excited. Big improvers this year. I think you can guarantee that. We've recruited well. We got returning players. We got a lot of buckets. There's going to be a lot of running, a lot of gunning, a lot of stunning.
I don't know if I'm as excited as much as I'm tired. Just reading that list and the stats and condensing that list to put into the show for this episode. It's taken me about 17 weeks.
A lot.
This squad for the WNBL1 is looking is WNBL1. I'm so tired I can't even string my words together. The NBL1 women's squad is just looking absolutely bonkers. It's exciting. You've got to come along and see these women dominate this year, I reckon.
It's going to be a really exciting season because the game plan, it's not just player-friendly, but it is fan-friendly as well. So I can't wait. Make sure you get down there and support the team.
Absolutely.
She make it clap, clap. She make it clap, clap.
Well, Jeremy, round 1 is here. We've got 2 games for round 1 for the men and the women in the NBL1. Thursday night, Dandenong. Sunday, Nunawading. And on Sunday, I don't know if you've heard, but we've got some very special guests, some VIPs, internationally known people, I guess they are, coming to see the game.
Is it going to be groovy, baby?
Austin Powers? International man of mystery. No. It is going to be DC round. We've got special DC round approval. Get down and get your autograph signed by Batman and Wonder Woman.
I hope he speaks like this the whole time.
All right, let's get to the game.
Okay, so we're going to kick off. Let's have a look at Dandenong Rangers. Now, last year, a slower team in terms of their pace, very methodical team. But they do like to run through that real set offense, a few shuffle things, but they've brought in a few players who might quicken that pace.
Absolutely. 2 players, Dallas Luffridge and Nadiu Poch, championship, WNBL championship South side for Nadiu, and Dallas Luffridge as well. WNBL championship. Dallas is a bit of a speedy character. She's going to want to push the pace, but Nadiu is projected to be a top 10 pick in the WNBA. She's 6'2", athletic wing. She's going to look to run the lanes hard, aggressive on the drive, and defensively is a bit imposing. So they're 2 players that our women are going to have to watch out for.
And if we have a look at the men's game, now Dandenong have recruited quite extensively this off-season. They're really trying to pad out their roster and probably change the results that they've experienced recently. And they've recruited some big guns.
Absolutely. First 7 to 8 players that'll be hitting the floor each and every night. Super strong. 2 recruits that we need to watch out for. Mason Peatling, NBL experience. Not a fan of Mitch Creek. So he's going to be very physical for us. And also Tad Duffelmeyer, extensive NBL experience. Last year in NBL1 North, he averaged 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, doing a bit of everything on the court. So very physical. Let's go on to Nunawading now. Sunday DC round, Batman and Wonder Woman. It's gonna be no relaxing between the Thursday and the Sunday because both squads very good coaching with the women. Jez, Paul Flynn, a name that doesn't need introducing, is years of NBL1 experience, WNBL experience, flow-based offense. Jez,
I think you're going to find a lot of cutting, a lot of dribble handoffs. Didn't shoot the 3-pointer that well last season, but I think the way the game is turning these days, that's going to be a real focus. I don't think you can escape that at any level these days. So I'm really interested to see if that does change. Maybe last season was just a bit of an aberration for them, but they have had quite the roster overhaul.
Yeah, it's hard to get an intel on them from, you just go on last year's stats, this being the first round, but Rachel and Tony Ardu and Lou Forsyth, new recruits for the women's program over there, Nunawading NBL1. Rachel and Tony Ardu is a very quick point guard, going to control the tempo. She's going to be very aggressive, trying to get inside the paint against us. And Lou Forsyth comes over from Eltham. Very, very powerful power forward. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 35% from 3. She can be damaging inside and out. For the men, Nunawading, they've always found their strength in a consistent lineup. If the women have had a roster overhaul, the men for years haven't. They've just brought through juniors and had a very consistent team playing together for years. So you'd assume consistency, consistency and chemistry would be very strong, and they're intangibles when it comes to sport.
Absolutely, and you can see that in their game style. So they're very good at controlling the pace. They probably play what I would say is a very modern American style of game with a lot of pick and rolls, and a bit of a run and gun. They like to put a lot of pressure on as much as possible and almost like harass the opposition into making mistakes. But again, they've done some big time recruiting here.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous. We've got a great squad, but you're only as good as really not as good as, but it depends on your opposition. I'm trying to make up my own metaphors here on Tiger TV.
A team of champions is a pot kettle black.
We're going to be playing football one season at a time. Is that
Yep. Just playing it 1 week at a time with all of your recruits.
111%. That's how good we are this year, going up from 110%. But some of their players, my palms are sweaty here.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
And bringing his mum's spaghetti is Jalen Johnson, new recruit for this squad. Seriously, massive name. Do a bit of a Google. He is an American player, played for Duke. NBA G League, played for the Westchester Knicks. 5 points per game, 3 rebounds in about 15 minutes. 6'8" wing, very athletic. So NBA G League, playing in NBL1 here in Australia. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to go, if he likes the systems here, how he fits into the Australian way of basketball. Could absolutely be dominant or just be a bit bewildered by Kangaroos. So.
And one of the things about playing in the G League is that is a real audition sort of league to get signed into the NBA and to European League. So it's a little bit hard to play a team game in that. And so those stats are pretty good. When you're hitting the boards like that and still getting that half an assist at that level in that type of environment shows that he's going to be very good. And of course Duke University, they don't recruit spuds.
No, they don't. It's a good point, Jez. Yeah, I think NBL1's going to be seeing a bit more of players of this calibre coming down, because you said the pathway. So a lot of players are seeing that agents are seeing that Australia is the way to get to the NBA. G League right next to the NBA. Let's go backdoor to Australia. Maybe NBL1, then NBL, and then back into the system of the NBA. So it's going to be interesting. Ellis Bigger is a new recruit as well. He's very big. Had previous seasons there at Dandenong.
He's big, but is he bigger?
Yeah, every week tune in for these zingers. If Jez does bad jokes on the show, it's usually the ones that I've written, so it's not even Jez's fault. Yeah, Bigger will certainly be bigger. Hope he's not too big for us when we take him on Sunday. Might have to get Batman to zap him with utility belt, jump on the court, get him a jersey.
Batman is biggest.
I wish we could cut to an ad. Sponsors, get on board so that we can cut to an ad and promo your brand, because I can't put up with my jokes for much longer. This is episode 1. This is horrendous.
I'm leaving the next player totally alone.
Yeah, Kingsley Box is going to be as well. He's been a training player with the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Good shooter, can get it going. Yeah, we want to look to limiting his looks during the game. And Nick Tatter, Jez, what do you know about him?
Ta-da! The magician, they call him.
I'm announcing these games, and Jez, you can't say this because it's just going to come out of my mouth. At number 12, Nick the Magician. Oh, they're the Spectres. They look a bit magical as well.
Yeah, the Wizards. You've got Gandalf, you've got ta-da! It's all happening, but big, strong centre, 6'10". He's big.
What?
He's a big fella. Not bigger, but he's big. Good touch around the ring. It's his first season with the Spectres. So, he's produced some big games in the past, and they're expecting a bit of a breakout. He just had his first season with the Spectres, and who knows what he can produce this season for them.
Well, let's look at this round's previews.
Right now, one-on-one, if Leonard Cope and myself are going at it, I've got him covered. I think I'm on the floor quite a bit. We're working with the fellas here. You know, he's not as athletic as he once was. For me, I was never an athlete. So I'm slow, but I was always slow.
She make it clap, clap. She make it clap, clap.
Tell you what, all jokes aside, Gavin, it is going to be a very, very exciting season of basketball for the Melbourne Tigers, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Round 1, get along to the games at MSAC Thursday against Dandenong, and Sunday, DC round against Nunawading. Get your membership for the Melbourne Tigers. Email Melbourne Tigers, call the Melbourne Tigers. If you see Andrew Gaze in the street, hit him up. He'll have scarves on him.
Yell at him.
Yell at him. We've given him 50 scarves, and he'll give you one right there and then. Jez, mate, big apologies. I've given you a lot of bad jokes. I've written a lot of bad jokes for you today. But fortunately, I'm not going to be part of the Melbourne Comedy Festival this year. But you are.
I am indeed. I am doing 17 shows at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. The show is called No Time for Games. I'm playing in Bridge Road, Richmond, at the Collection Bar, all throughout the Comedy Festival. Come check it out. And for Tigers watchers and Tigers fans, if at checkout you put in time for Jez, you get a couple of bucks off.
I put in time for Gav and I paid double.
Yeah. Yep, that's the thing. If you want to pay double, do that. Time for Jez, though. Look after yourself.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in the first episode of Tiger TV. Jez and I will see you next week. But I'm getting ready for Batman and Wonder Woman. Na 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 na. Wonder Woman.
She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it. She make it clap, clap, clap. She make it clap, clap.